Yeah, I think I'm going to break one of my rules today. We're talking politics. Well, kind of yes, kind of no. Like to tell you the truth, I didn't have a topic for today. So it's like, I'll just tell you what I saw today. Welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name is Graham Wilson. And today in my basement, I will be solving the problem of homelessness. There we go. No one else has ever done it. I can do it though. Why not? So I really had absolutely nothing to talk about today until like 2 minutes before I just went on. And that's kind of one of the tricky things about doing a show like this is you got to come up with something new and exciting. But it's easy for people if you just like, hey, what's in the news today? Let's talk about that. I mean, it's easy because the news will give you the topics to talk about every day. But I could I don't know, just like talk about airplane crashes, and I don't want to do that, even though it does get the clicks. And yes, Jordan, good to see you. So this is like the reason I was thinking about this is like, okay, yesterday I saw the most amount of bums I've ever seen in my entire life in my town. And so I was walking to the grocery store with the girlfriend, and Sunday, and then there's like, okay, there's a few bums over there, bums over there. Well, I mean, I'll call them bums. Oh, hey, DH Pilot One. I'm not talking about you, DH Pilot One. You're not a bum. I'll just call them bums because that's a nicer way of saying, I don't know, schizophrenic, junkie, homeless person or whatever. So it's like, so you walk down the street. Oh, there's a couple bums. Big deal. It's used to that. Then you go by. Here's another couple of bums, and they're just kind of rooting through the garbage bins. Okay, you gotta get some food from the garbage bin or something, I guess. And then we get on the way to the grocery store, and there's just a ton, and they had a stereo going. They're just like partying in this parking lot, getting all high, and it's like, what kind of a life is that, man? I, I, I just don't get it. And the thing is, I just don't want to. I'll be honest with you. I just don't want to see it anymore. It's like, go do all that stuff you want wherever, but like, I don't want to have to look at you going to the grocery store. It makes me feel bad by looking at you. I feel guilty because I have a hat and I have a clean shirt, and you don't. So it's like, go get yourself a hat and a clean shirt, and we're cool. But if you're looking around and like you're dropping needles on the ground and stuff, it's like, come on. And then like on the way back, there's this dude just zonked right out, boom, on drugs, and some other people looking through the garbage. And then this morning I went to went somewhere this morning before the show, and just driving along. Here's a guy just passed out, passed out at the corner store, just, and then did a little thing, and it kind of came back, and then the guy's wobbling around all high, and it's like, come on, man, like a lot of people have had a little too much to drink every once in a while. It's whatever, but you get your act together, buddy. So here we go. So this is my solution, so that I don't have to see that. I just don't want to see it. You guys do whatever you want. I don't want to see you. So, and yeah, so that's it. Here we go. Here's my solution. So, and I'm going to use the whiteboard for my solution. So you see, you got this guy. And yeah, they got the problems and everything, like we all do. Okay, so here's my what's this? And the thing is, it's like, okay, there's a homeless guy. He's living next to his tent. How do you draw a tent? There we go. And there's another guy sitting in a chair he stole. And maybe he's got a needle in his arm. There we go. Not the greatest. Although, I've talked to a couple of these junkies in my lifetime, and one bum I was talking to, he actually got addicted to opiates because it was he hurt his back working, and then he just got hooked on the drugs that the doctor was giving him, and then the doctor stopped prescribing it to him, and then he had to go on the street to get him. Next thing you know, he's living on the street. So, that can happen. It can happen to anybody. But still, I don't want to see him. And I don't want him scoping out my garage to steal my my used up old screwdrivers in there. So here we go. We got a junkie shooting up over here. We got another bum hanging around here. They generally don't drink booze, strangely enough. I think it's just all bad drugs. So here we go. Fun topic. Okay, so here we are. They're hanging out in the parking lot. And then, so what I was thinking, you could take all these guys and you move them over here and you put them over here, far away from my parking lot. So if you put them over here, now I don't have to see them. And there we go. There we go. They might be getting treatment. They might be talking to each other, have a little bit of coffee, whatever they want to do. Oh, hey, Wrench. We're solving all the world's homeless problems here today. So, and let's just say they got drug problems. Okay, you can get your rehab, do whatever. Say they're schizophrenic, and maybe they're just like they're out of their minds because that happens, right? So if they're just regular druggy bums over here, okay. But if they got the schizophrenic problem, might need another place to put them over here. And this is, I don't know, what's a schizophrenic look like? All right, there's a schizophrenic guy, and put him in a little padded room like we used to do in the old days. Give him some food and stuff, and they're probably cool. And then I don't have to watch him living in the tent. And part of it too, it was like, uh, how is that done? Who is going to do it? Who's going to pay for it? Are they going to pay for it themselves? You could give them a little job there; they could earn their keep. And then for the schizophrenic guys, they can't really do anything. So I don't know. You got to take care of the vulnerable people in the population, but there's not too many of them. We could probably, I'll pitch in a few bucks a year to keep a guy off the street. But who's going to do it? What's the solution? The solution is get them away from me in my parking lot, and then people can like. And it's funny that it's like they hang out in the parking lot, and then after they've been doing that, all the businesses have been kind of closing up around there, and like they're going to start renovating this other business, and then they just have it all boarded up because people were kicking in the windows, and it's starting to look pretty shabby. And no one cares except for me because I don't want to see them. But I guess the other thing is there I could move myself out here to the country, and I got my trees. There we go. I could just put myself over here by the trees, have a little barn. There we go, a little house. But I can't afford that. Do you know how much that costs right there? That costs like a couple $1,000,000. I ain't got that. So, anyways, the me moving out to the country, that's not really an option. So, so there we go. There we go. What do we do? So somehow these guys got to move over here, and then I don't have to move over here. And then this goes back to what do we got here? And thinking about it too, like it's like winter's coming up. It's gonna be cold, and like I don't think the guys are putting like a heater in their tent or nothing like that to get ready. So, anyways, if we move those guys over there, then we get our parking lot back. How do you draw a parking lot? There you go. You got your parking lot back there, and then they can open up this bank again. They can rebuild this and put an apartment over here because these guys are not hanging out there bringing down the property values there. So there we go. That's your classic example of how, I don't know, crime creates poverty. There we go. That's the thing. They always say poverty creates crime. I think that's wrong. It's like crime creates poverty. See, because like these guys were doing all their drugs and everything, committing crimes. And then these people here had to be poor and move out of their buildings. And then if I wanted to stay away from these guys, I would get poor if I moved out to the country here. So it's like they got that wrong. I think it's like it's not that poverty creates crime and crime creates poverty. That's the way I think. And that was another thing too. I was thinking about like, what's the difference between like a pilot and a homeless person? Because it's kind of like pilots are broke when they start off. Like they don't make any money at all. So, or university students or something, they're all broke. But they're not out. You don't see pilots hanging out in parking lots like shooting up all the time. You don't see university students studying for their masters in the parking lot with a needle sticking out of their arm. So there's got to be something to that where the if you don't do the crime, there's like Well, I don't know. There's something weird there. I don't have the exact solution for that one, but drugs are bad. Okay. And then, yeah, there we go. I just solved all the homeless problems. And, I don't know. Like, I really had uh, I don't know, no topic for today. And that just, it's just bothering me more and more. I see it more and more. And it's just like, what are you going to do? I think everyone's just kind of poor hanging out in the country. And I don't know. The thing is, I don't want to take on $1 million mortgage or something like that. Are you nuts? Like, no one can afford that. Or even more. Like, I mean, just to get around here, I think if you want to get like just a couple acres around here, little 3-bedroom house, little garage, couple acres, you're looking at $1.5 million at least, anyways. But anyways, that's that. So, all right. We'll go through some comments and stuff. And I kind of feel bad I didn't have a better topic for you guys, but I don't know. I got things on my mind here because I'm going on my little motorcycle trip. I got stuff to do. But yeah, here we go. Well, we'll just go through a couple of these things. And I didn't I was trying to think of like some airplaney stuff, and I didn't want to go. I don't know. I was looking at my airplane books I have over there, and I'm like, I could just pick something. Like how to do forces in a turn with the airplane. How many G's do you pull? It's like, that's kind of like a boring ground school subject. But anyways, what do we got here? And yeah, so here we go. So Jordan started off here. Get the kitten gloves on. No eating the cats or dogs. Yeah, we're not talking about eating cats or dogs around here too much. Although I am going down. I will be around Springfield, Ohio, where everyone says that the cats and dogs are getting eaten. So I don't know. Not everyone. One guy. Anyways, I don't know what's going on there. I might ask some locals if I run into something like, what's going on with this stuff? You see it on social media and everything. Although I did see a clip of some chick. I did see it on Twitter. I don't know if it's real or not. Some chick took a chunk out of a cat. Cop was kind of like, I don't know, surprised. So I'd be surprised too. She just ate the cat. It was like, oh. I don't know, but you never know. Social media could be all fake too. So, here we go. What else we got here? Yeah, I know. That's the thing. This isn't. Yeah, Wrench has his own opinions, but yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like, it gets into, but like if someone's just sitting around there, and their life sucks, right? So it's like, is that political? If this guy's life sucks, yeah, or this girl's out being a prostitute or something like that because she needs drugs. Is that political? Is it just economics? Is it? I mean, there's laws about that stuff, and pretty much everything you have in the world is regulated almost. Flying's heavily regulated, so I don't know. Like, at what point do you go politics? Like, I guess my rule on no politics is like I try not to be like partisan or something like that, where you'd be like, okay, this is this party. I'm campaigning for this guy running for whatever position. I don't want to do that. Like, I'll never interview any politicians here. I'll never from anywhere. But yeah, like I don't want to be getting into that stuff. So ideally, your vote should be kind of private. So where are we here? Yeah. Yeah. So Wrench is, yeah, he's living out in the country where there's no homeless. I mean, like, that's cool. I'd love to I'd consider moving to the country or something like that. But I don't have the money, or the amount of money, like the amount of work I would have to do to afford there. Like, I'd have to basically work till I die to pay off my house out in the country. And I don't want to work till I die. That's all right. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is interesting. Ranch has a friend in the suburbs who had 6 homeless in a creek right of way inside of his house. No kidding. He went over with a bang stick and made them leave. I use them. You Americans and your bang sticks. That's you got all them rights and everything. But yeah, like, and it's not just me that's hanging out. Like, because I live kind of closer to downtown or whatever, and closer to the where they get their free food at the mission or whatever. But there's like people, you can go to every little pocket of my city anytime there's a little wooded area or something there. There's someone living in tents or like down by a ditch, out by the mall. Even there's like they're sprinkled around. And even years ago there was where I was in Sudbury up north. There was this little patch of trees that was like just kind of off, kind of out towards one of the mines. That, like, there's no one living around there, and I was working on this TV show, and the guy that was in charge of finding the locations for the different scenes and shooting outside and stuff, he went to check out this little wooded area because it's not too far from downtown where most of the shooting for the TV show was going on. And he went into this little wooded area, and he said it was like a whole city of tents. It was like you wouldn't see it from the road or anything. And you thought, oh, we could park the trailers here. We could do this and get the catering truck over there. Big parking lot. Okay, that's enough. And then we could just shoot just inside this where the bush was there. And yeah, he said there's a whole like city of like homeless people living there. And this was back a while ago. So, anyways, that's and DH Pilot's always got a much better idea than me for topics, things to consider for winter flying. It is getting into winter flying pretty soon, and I mean, it's timely. I think I've done that before, but I guess it probably doesn't hurt to remind people every once in a while. Maybe, well, I don't know if things work out. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to let out all my plans and everything of what's going on. But theoretically, my Wednesday show should be somewhat interesting because I won't be in my basement if things work out right. So, okay. And yeah, winter flying. Okay. I do take requests. There we go. Winter flying. I take the request. You say it, I do it. So you'll get that DH Pilot one. Can't say no to your fans. Okay. Oh, here we go. What's this? And when do you preheat? The plane he rents has an electric preheat patch on the oil pan. Okay. Yeah. I will have to take a note of that. Well, what do we got here? I got that little card. I was going to make a list. No. Okay. So we got winter flying preheat. I don't think I've mentioned that before. Okay, now we're getting ideas. Yeah. And then when you are thinking about preheating, that is more for the you got to pay attention to the type of oil that the airplane is using. So if you got, what is it, a W100, like Shell W100, that should be at 15 degrees Celsius. What's that, 60 Fahrenheit, something like that. Anything less than that, that oil gets really like molasses. So, okay, what else we got here? Yeah, there's an idea there too. Is like they have to eat. If we can control the free food, we can control where they live. Yeah, they're gonna follow the food. That's true. But I guess it'd be kind of like, where's their drug source and the food. But of course, if we like enforced the laws or something like that, they wouldn't be doing it, right? So, yeah. So yeah, that's a weird thing. But that was one thing too. When I was like in El Salvador, you don't see that at all. It's just like you don't do drugs in El Salvador. That's it. Like oh, you broke the law, off to jail. Oh yeah, we'll give you a court date and a year. In the meantime, you'll be in jail, and we'll put you to work. So, actually, the way they do jail down in El Salvador is pretty cool. They get like if you're not a really bad criminal, I don't know, 16 years old, get your hands on a cheap bottle of booze, you get drunked up, and you take a car for a joyride or something like that. Okay, yeah, you stole someone's car. Okay, but you gave it back to him. Who's the victim there? Mm, but you still broke the law, so you're in jail, pal. And so you're in jail, and they're like, all right, well, yeah, I think what's the deal there? It's like for every day you work, you get a day off your sentence. So say you got in there for a year, but you work 7 days a week at the little factory they have, and they make I don't know, like desks for schools and stuff like that, and they make a whole bunch of things there, and uh, it's pretty impressive what they do in El Salvador for that. And then so they're making all this stuff, they get free labor to make all the stuff that the government needs and schools need and hospitals need, and the criminals learn skills, and then they get a reduced sentence there. So it, like the government's kind of making money off of them, and then they put someone out there in the workforce with some skills. So that's for like the nonviolent criminals and stuff. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if you could do that with like guys that are addicted to drugs and that. That's kind of that's a tricky one, because that's the way I see it. It's like or even like my neighbor's garage got broken into a while ago there, and yeah, that guy he was hanging out in the neighborhood there, and he was one of those guys. So what can you do? But I did have the problem. I got the problem solved. You move them over there, and Good Idea Ranch will give the food over there, and they can hang out there. And yeah. Okay. Okay. That show was like, usually I sometimes have a good show, sometimes I have a medium show. This one here's like bottom of the barrel, but whatever. They can't all be zingers. But I did get some topics for winter flying, preheating, stuff like that. It's on my list. And thanks, guys. Okay, so that's about it. Sorry for the lame show, but whatever. Yeah, Wednesday, I will be somewhere else on Wednesday, so that should be a different background anyways. That show might suck too. Who knows? But it will be different on Wednesday. And yeah, why? Because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And we'll just kind of shut down this stinker of a show. Thanks for watching. Bye.